Charlotte? Yick? Really? Maybe. Well, here come the top 5 reasons why you might want to reconsider your move to Charlotte. This is a pretty tough topic for Charlotte and probably for a bunch of other cities too, especially if it's your favorite hometown. Charlotte's not my hometown, but it is one of my favorite cities. I'm Dave Da Silva, veteran and realtor with Long Tab Realty, powered by EXP here in Charlotte. I've been a realtor here in Charlotte for 20 years and have lived here for just over 22 years. Actually, almost 22 years. One of the things I've come to know is that the likes and dislikes that people have about Charlotte are a lot of times based on where they came from or if they've only been here. So a lot of this is relative, and these dislikes are in no particular order. The number one reason somebody might not want to move to Charlotte is one of the reasons that I kind of like Charlotte. It's the traffic. Some people think it's horrible, and we'll talk about that. All right, nice sunny day here in Charlotte, but I'm talking about traffic. Hopefully you can hear me. In Charlotte, we do have our major arteries, and there's always going to be a traffic jam there during rush hour. Rush hour starts somewhere around 3:30. Right now it's 4:30 and goes until about 6:30 in the evening. And in the morning, it's about 7:20, 7:30 until about, thank you, motorcycle, until about 8:30. What you see here is a 485 overpass, actually underpass. I'm over top of it on Elm Road in South Charlotte, just about dead south. We're still inside the Charlotte city limits, but these are all the people heading home from probably uptown or maybe Fort Mill area and heading over towards Matthews, Mint Hill, and other parts of South Charlotte. Now I'm back in a little bit more of a quiet area where I can talk a little bit more about the traffic. And as I said, we do have a considerable amount of traffic here during rush hours. Again, you can't compare it to some of the bigger cities that I mentioned, DC, Cincinnati, Atlanta, New York, Boston. I'm sure some of you have come from others, but if you haven't been to those big cities, this probably seems like it's just an awful mess, and it can be, but again, it's all relative. Traffic and our second reason for maybe reconsidering Charlotte are 2 reasons that you can think of that might be pluses, and I really do. The second reason is weather. I really can't support anybody who's arguing about having bad winter weather here in Charlotte. That means you just haven't been anyplace else. It's really a joke if you do have that as an argument. However, there are a couple things that make it worse in the winter than some other places, and it's just that people aren't used to it down here. So the driving is a little bit crazy. And also, I think we have 2 plows in Charlotte, maybe a metro area of 2.2 million, and we've got 2 plows. Nobody knows how to keep the snow off the road. Other than that, it's pretty mild winter here, other than once every 5 to 7 years where we'll get 8 or 10 inches of snow. So if you're coming down here, bring your shovel, get rid of your snow plow. Now, while it's tough to predict the snow down here, you can certainly predict the effect of the snow on the people. Everyone's going to run out to the store. They're going to go to Harris Teeter, which is our local grocery store. They're going to buy eggs, milk, batteries, and water. Then they're going to go run to the gas lines and fill up their cars. Every time there's a threat of cold weather, icy weather, or snow, you'll see it on the TV the night before as all the schools cancel for the next day. And we've had times where the next day was in the 70-degree weather range. Now, the spring and fall are great months down here, some of my favorite times of the year, but they do sandwich in a very hot and humid summer. If you're coming down from some of the northern states, just be ready to be hit with weather during June, July, August, September in the 90s and peaking out at 100 here and there. Along with that high temperature, you're going to get dripping humidity. You can be sweating early in the morning just by standing outside in your backyard. On the plus side, if you're trying to lose some weight, you don't have to wear one of those little plastic suits that those wrestlers used to wear in college. One of the recommendations to have on hand all the time when you're heading out in the summer is a lot of sunscreen. Now, if you're a ghosty white boy like my son or my brother, those guys turn tomato red and it can be painful. Seriously, it can be really hot out here, and you got to watch out and make sure you're covered up with sunscreen. One of the things that will affect a lot of people too is dehydration. Water's got to be with you all the time in the summer, whether you're playing sports or just out for a comfortable walk. I see people out there just sweating, panting away, and they don't have any water with them. Typically, if I'm on the run, I've got a backpack or I've got a belt with a lot of water with me, and if I'm in my car, I've always got bottles of water. So that's something that's going to be needed, especially if you're new from the north, like I said before. Reason number 3 that you may want to rethink coming down to Charlotte is the housing market. It is tough, and I'm going to go ahead and relocate and show you a little bit more about the housing market. This is a topic that could easily change to a favorite reason for coming to Charlotte, but right now it's tough down here to find a home. It is not just that homes are very expensive. The median price is $370. That's double what it was about 10 years ago, maybe somewhere around double. But there's also a problem with the inventory. We've got about 3,788 homes on the market today. Back in 2008, 2009, we had 28, 29, 30,000 homes. Quite a difference. The rental inventory has also taken a beating, and I just put some family into a rental unit. It was a 3-bedroom, I think 2.5 or 3-bath home, about 1,800 square feet, and they were paying $2,600 a month. It was a pretty nice unit, so it was much nicer than some of them out there. But for a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2,000 square feet, you could pay anywhere from $1,400, the very, very low end if you can find it, up to $6,000 plus for a little bit nicer home in a more luxurious neighborhood. If you'd like to get a PDF copy of the statistics, tough word to say, for the Charlotte market for May, send me an email, dave@longtabrealty.com. That's dave@longtabrealty.com, and I'll go ahead and send that to you. Reason number 4 for thinking twice about moving to the Charlotte area is the rapid and consistent growth of the county, the city, and the whole metropolitan area. Charlotte is now the country's 16th largest city with just about 890,000 residents, and that's inside the city limits. In the metro area, we have between 2.3 and 2.5 million people. Pretty good size. Considering back in the year 2000, we had 768,000 people in the metro area. That's about 100,000 a year. This past year, we had 31,000 come to Charlotte, which is about 84.9 people per day. So we still are growing. We're just looking for the housing. This enormous growth has put a big strain on the schools, the roadway, the utility systems, anything from the water and sewer supply systems, as well as a challenge for first responders, and of course housing, which I mentioned before. It's really hard to imagine when you're driving around to imagine why we have a housing problem and why we have a growth problem and fitting people in. There's always construction everywhere around Charlotte, especially the outskirts, the suburbs, and there's road construction going on all the time everywhere. One of the solutions we've seen a bit of, and we'll probably see a little bit more of, is people trying to find houses out further in the rural countryside. That might only be 10, 15, 20 minutes outside the city of Charlotte, but it is quite a bit of a difference. So before revealing the 5th reason to reconsider a move to the Charlotte area, I want to let you know that I polled several people for their thumbs up and their thumbs down in different categories. We got several consistent answers like traffic and weather as negatives, which were also positives when I did my pros video, proving it's all relative. The 5th and a little bit facetious reason to reconsider Charlotte is that this area can cause analysis paralysis. Before going there, just a reminder, please like and subscribe, leave comments, and make suggestions for my channel. My source describes so many things to do around Charlotte, like bar hopping, awesome nightlife, lots of foodies, sports and music events, places just to hang out, that sometimes there's a paralysis caused by analyzing what they're going to do next. Analysis paralysis is something well known in business planning, and now it's a possibility with your social planning. Our next video, we're going to talk about how to prepare to move to Charlotte, so be prepared for that one.